Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. It's Mark from Resound Studio coming at you again from my studio just, a little north of town. The title of the video was, Are There Ghosts in My Studio? And I started to have some really weird things going on that drove me a little bit cuckoo while I was trying to record some percussion. I was hearing some stuff in my headphones that was not making sense. And while I was performing the part, I didn't hear it, but I heard it in the edits. And I was like going nuts. And when you're recording in an environment where sound absorption and sound control is only within your control, and you have to do everything on a DIY budget and in a DIY manner, you can overlook some things. And this was something that I really overlooked. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to clap. Now, you might notice audio people walking around rooms clapping or going, and it's to hear the room where there are reflections and things to pay attention to. So, in all my years of using this music stand, I've always used it with a book on it, or like I have a piece of plywood on it, sometimes to hold a larger score for myself or for others. And even sitting beside this thing now is driving me a little crazy because the ghost in my studio was this music stand. What's that all about? So I was recording live percussion with a darbuka that I was playing. And often when I use percussion in my songs or with other people's songs, it's through a VST or a virtual instrument, which really, it makes no sound other than the click on your keyboard that you're using when you're playing the notes. So I heard this tone because I was doing shots like bow, 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 bow on the darbuka, and it was driving me crazy where this extra ringing was coming from. So knowing what I know about audio and that other things in the room will have resonance, I started walking around my studio here clapping. Now, my studio here is not huge. It's 11 by 14 with a really steep angled roof because I'm in the attic. So the possibility of a standing wave, which is what it sounded like, is almost impossible in this room. There are no really parallel surfaces. So I was walking up to my guitars hanging on this wall over here. If you've seen other videos of mine from a different perspective, you know the ones I mean. There's some acoustics, some semi-acoustics, some electric solid bodies, basses, and I was clapping beside them, and I couldn't hear that ring that I was hearing in the headphones. I put string dampeners on them just to make sure. Nothing. I walked around the room clapping. I could still hear it. I took the darbuka outside the room. I put it downstairs, just in case the head of the drum was ringing. Clapped again. Still the same ringing. And it ended up being the music stand as I sort of echolocated doing my own sort of Batman impersonation. I could hear the tone was coming from behind me. So why I have this microphone here is so that you can hear what I was hearing. And I'm going to show you a super simple, really easy, not 100% effective fix for such an irritating thing. I'm sitting about 30 inches from the music stand. Listen to this. Can you hear that? Just after I clap, there's this little sound after it. And when I'm speaking beside it here, different frequencies will make this thing resonate in different ways. So while I was going absolutely crazy trying to figure out what was going on, I realized shortly after it was my music stand. Now, here is my super simple, easy, but not 100% effective fix. This is Toolbox Drawer Liner from the local Canadian Tire store. And what I did was I cut a chunk of it, and I'm paper clipping it to the music stand. Now, if you've looked into anything about sound proofing versus sound dampening, you'll know that soundproofing requires you to add mass to surfaces, walls, floors, ceilings, also to music stands that might be resonating. If you got paper on there, it's not going to do anything. So this is, I don't know, very thin, but it's kind of this rubberized material. And the reason I paper clipped it down was I realized that in doing a test just before this, the sort of here and there touching of the music stand to the surface of the material didn't really do the trick. So check this out. It's still there, but it's not irritating as much as it was before. Now, when I'm sitting here talking, I can hear the stand resonating. But another thing I also discovered was that my wonderful bass combo in there, just off screen there, has a metal grill on it. And it's resonating as well. Now, I'm not going to go as far as trying to dampen that. But anything that is free in the air, that is not soft enough to absorb sound waves, or heavy enough to stop sound waves, is going to resonate with whatever sound is going on in the room. And although, again, this isn't super perfect, it works. Now, when you're recording in a room with acoustic guitars, yeah, put string dampeners on them, put your plugs over the sound holes. Although I did see a really cool video recently where somebody put a small diaphragm condenser in an acoustic guitar in front of a drum kit and used it to add to the room mic effect that they were using on the drums, and it was really, really cool. But anyways, this is just a little tiny studio hack that, unless you have something heavy like a book or whatever on your music stand, it could be something that you hear in your edits that is really irritating. If you have an open grill on a bass amp like that, it's metal. Put something in front of it, attach something to it, give it mass. So this little thing here gave a little bit of sound absorption, maybe, but it also gave the music stand some mass, which keeps it from resonating. And that is your little home studio hack for the day. Cover up anything that can vibrate, because it might just drive you crazy. Thanks for watching.